Yemi Alade has said that you don't know, he said, until you have a quarrel with your friend or partner, you will never know the true depth of that relationship. Put ship and put canoe there. Because, and we're going to be discussing it, because sometimes they say everything is sweet until something really happens, and then you find out if this is a relationship or it is a situationship. So have you had experiences, and we're not even limiting it to opposite sex relationship, even regular friendship, where a quarrel happened and then the relationship did not recover from that quarrel? And how did you deal with it? According to her, she said, just let people exit your life and move on. Do you believe in struggling to make that relationship work even after a quarrel, or do you... I want to start with Ramatu.
Okay, so sometimes you can try as much as possible to save a relationship if it's sailing or something, because, of course, when you have a relationship with someone, conflicts will always come. And I always say it, ability to resolve this conflict is what keeps that relationship. And in a relationship, once there's a conflict, somebody must listen and the other person will be talking. The two of you cannot be talking at the same time and try to resolve it. And if at all you cannot resolve, you must not resolve that issue that day or that minute or that time. You can give yourself time. Take time, take a deep breath and hold on. And then you can now revisit that same issue later, and then you guys can talk about it. And yes, of course, if the relationship is going to be a burden on you and you are not enjoying it anymore, it's becoming toxic, you let it go. You let it go so that you can have your own peace and all. I think I saw one post on Instagram where Laura, and at some point, sometimes it can get petty, Laura posted that she had issues with her friend, and then you know what the friend did? Because they've not been talking for some days, she just went, picked up all the gifts that Laura gave her while in the course of the relationship, went and returned it back to her. Took everything back, and then Laura brought it out and she was like, if you want her, because she dashed her hair on her birthday, so many things, she was like, she wants to give all of those things out. Wow. Everything. So you can imagine.
That one is, you don't even know the friendship.
Exactly.
See the level. This person, no, is not your friend. That kind of person is not your friend, though.
I'm telling you.
It should be worrisome. So, I mean, it is worrisome. Somebody will now return the gift. Yes, were you keeping the gift waiting for if something goes wrong? That means you were planning that this person, I don't trust you. Someone posted as a comment on that, he said, many of you are living with strangers in the name of marriage. He said, some people would say, my husband and my wife, they are very quiet. That sometimes you need to test yourself.
They're not quiet.
Before the marriage and know the limits, the anger threshold of your partner. If not, you just enter the marriage thinking you married a quiet person, or you think your friend is a very quiet person and receive slap on top small quarrel. So, you were saying don't believe the false story that he or she is a quiet type. Have you ever had that kind of thing happen to you?
Well,
because you come across as a very quiet person.
I am a very quiet person. And funnily enough, the kind of friendships and relationships I've maybe entered into, it's always, most of the time, they come in for their selfish reasons, because I'm always the giving type. I can go all out if I got your back, you know, even if I don't. So people already know my kind of personality. So it was hard for me to actually sieve out some. And some mistakes I made personally, I would see this person doing this to the next person, and I'll make excuses. Okay, it's not me. That's what people shouldn't condone. You don't think that your friend is lying to this person. They are telling, she or he is telling the next person, I'm 2 minutes away, and you know the person is still at home. Or the person is telling the next person, okay, I was paid 10,000 when they were paid 100,000. You know, you think, okay, it's not you now. She or he can't do this to me. But when it turns, you know that the person can actually do so. I experienced that a lot. Watch how your friend treats the next person, because that's where your answer lies. And then there are some friends that they now use your vulnerability. You know, when you're close to them, you must talk to somebody. You must have a confidant. You must have somebody, whether you like it or not. No matter how much you keep your secret, there should be one person that can actually talk to you, especially when you're down, because you need somebody to lift you up. There were friends back then that you would tell your problems, your vulnerability, and at the end of the day, you start hearing it from somewhere else.
University hostels.
I'm telling you. And so I actually I actually agree with what Yemi said. Mostly, it's money that brings out the true color of any friendship. You know, I would use instances of some friends I had dealings with. It was actually money related. We would do deals. I had most of the deals, so most of the time it was me giving out the percentages. But when they did their own deals, I didn't used to know. Yes. So at the time, I was still, I didn't have a company then, so I would not know the money coming in through the company. But they knew my own money coming in because we were using the same, they got the alert. So most of the time, when I had something, that's when, oh, this problem, this problem. Me, once I have it and you're complaining, it becomes my problem, I just solve it. Meanwhile, when you have your own deals or you have your own money, I don't get to know about it. It will just be maybe a slip. You will not say, okay, I had this. So, but you didn't have money. How did you not get the money? That's okay. I made a deal one time like that. So we have... I actually agree. I don't want to say more. I don't want to say more, really. You can feel me, right?
I feel you wholeheartedly.
Yes.
I feel you wholeheartedly. And the sad thing about human beings, I've realized that, you know how you say if you do good, they'll do good to you?
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. They see that you're a good person and they're thinking, in what way can I capitalize on this person's vulnerability? No, there are people like that.
True.
And with age maturity, you now realize that it first breaks your heart.
Yeah.
Because you now know that you have to now start rearranging yourself
and suspecting
someone
everyone.
in order to protect yourself. So I get you. I understand that heartbreak. I hear you. But, you know, just to go back to the topic, he says, until you quarrel with someone.
Yeah.
It's something I always say, right? I've always had this, that when I quarrel with someone and you use the opportunity that because you're angry and you say the meanest, wickedest things ever just because you're angry, for me, that is it. Because I, personally, I believe, you know, that I can have a disagreement with you and the words that come out of my mouth would not be words that would diminish or demean you, but would be the words concerning what it is that we're talking about. I find it it's unforgivable. I may eventually just keep talking with you, but I have held you here. I'm sorry, I'm one of those people. I know where I've now put you.
Exactly.
You would never again hear about my vulnerabilities.
Exactly.
Never again.
You're my sister.
If I hear you do it to someone else, the same thing, you will never hear from me about my vulnerabilities. Because if you can do it to that person who's your best friend, who you've known for all these years, you can do it to that person. You think me, that I just met you, I'll be stupid enough to, you know. So really, when people are in a disagreement, it's the things that they say to you, for me, that reveals really how they feel about you.
Yeah.
Because when you love someone, even when you're disagreeing with them, you still want them to know, I love you, I just don't agree with you.
Yeah.
You know, I love you, I just don't think this is what we... Not that when I'll not use it. In fact, your head is like this. In fact, that's how you told me you did this. You know, for me, I'm like, you were holding on to this? Is this how you see me? Is this how... all the issues that we have discussed, is this how you have kept it to use it in this way? Meanwhile, I have the same information, I have as much information about you, and yet I cannot even think it in my head to put them in such a way that I will use them against you. So truly, it's in conflict and hard times that they said, you know, we're tested by fire. That's how you know the people that you should trust going forward.
So they say pressure reveals content.
Yeah.
And that's what quarreling is about. So quarreling is a good thing in a relationship because when the pressure happens, you will really know who the person is. Let's take this caller. Damola called in from Niger State. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Morning, ladies. I'm coming in from Mariam's perspective.
Was struggling to hear you within the volume.
Okay, well, I'm coming from Mariam's perspective. Said when somebody tells you the meanest things, yes, that's true. Yes. So I'm coming from Mariam's perspective. When somebody tells you the meanest things, she finds it hard to believe. There are some people that you forgive times and times again, and then maybe when they call you to settle you guys, you are quiet, you don't want to reveal secrets, they take advantage of that to offend you again. So I think the best thing you do is just tell them what things that come out of your mouth so they'll keep away from you. It's like sending a signal, don't do it again. Maybe someone has said it like 3 times, and they're not remorseful, they keep taking advantage of your kind heart, the next thing you should do is tell them in a hard way. Hit them real hard. And maybe that one will put a stop to their silliness.
Thank you so much, Damola. You know, there's another perspective to this thing. You know, when friendship is one-sided, but you did not know.
Yeah.
So in your mind, this person is your friend, but it's in your mind.
Yes.
The relationship is not a mutual relationship. You know where some girls will be like, it's my boyfriend, but the guy knows that, no, we're just together.
We're just hanging out.
It's nothing serious. Until quarrel or something happens, and then you realize that this person is not my friend. I'm the one thinking we are friends, we're really not friends. It's a one-sided relationship that I am thankfully now aware of, and all those kind of things. But somebody put it here that don't hurt anybody and expect them to react with love. No, be only you decrease. And it's a case of you should, I didn't mean it that way. You know, when you have issues and somebody comes and say, I didn't mean it that way, that you should let it go. You should know that I did not mean it that way. That
that's
if
how
you,
I am.
That's how I am. So you slap somebody and you say the person should not cry, or say the person should not slap you back. And then you're getting angry when that happens back to you. That for every time you give something, be giving only what you're able to take back. How about toxic relationships?
Exactly.
Those are examples of...
No, like this is not a case of just quarreling, no. This is like this person is toxic. You're in a relationship and the friendship is a friendship that makes you feel, it makes you feel bad. So let me give an example of my son, actually, one of my twin. This is just 12-year-old in class, and we come back home and it's like, my friend said he's not my friend again.
Okay.
Or my friend said he's not going to do revision with me. Okay. What happened? They said, I was just, something happened in class. Somebody made jest of him, and I laughed. And he said I should not have laughed because you're not my friend. If you're my friend, you would not have laughed at somebody that was making jest of me. And he said, I'm sorry. And he said, I'm not talking to you again. So these are the first time. Some little things like that, you come back home and it's like, he said he's not talking to me again. I say, if he doesn't talk to you again, you two don't talk to him again. This is example of a toxic relationship. You need to learn how to walk away from someone who is always dangling their friendship and manipulating you with that friendship, you know. So what are other examples that
So like me now, I always tell, for my kids, I always tell them that you can always choose your friends. The only people you can't choose your family members. But your friends, you can choose them. As soon as you feel that this relationship is not benefiting you or you are not comfortable with it, let it go. Because I realized that some of my kids, right, they are very attached to friendships. Like recently, okay, when they came back, you know, you have your phone, you be talking with friends and all. So sometimes I'll just seize the phones and I'm like, bond inside, leave those ones. But when you go back to school, you continue with that kind of, with that friendship. But once you are here, you are,
with
you
your
should
family.
be close and all of that. Because she was telling me of one of her friends in school, they are friends, but because the other one refused to be her friend, the other one went and poured water on the other one's
bed or boots.
Books. And you know, and she lied about it. They asked her, did you do it? She lied until they were able to
these things are really affecting children.
Yes.
Children are actually, a lot of children, you know, the conversation around friendship should be discussed. Our parents should discuss it with their children.
I discuss it very well.
Because you'll be shocked to find that there are issues. So
I remember the story of that lady.
So I need to take this information. There's a live transmission going on. Action Aid Nigeria is hosting the Nigeria's Voice and Leadership Nigeria Project Closeout. And the Learning and Dissemination Ceremony, which is funded by Global Affairs Canada. This event is happening at the Abuja Continental Hotel Ballroom, 3 and 4, on the 20th of August, which is right now, 10 a.m. So we are going to be signing out right now from TVC News for this particular program to start airing on TVC News. If you want to continue watching us, and probably you're watching on TVC News, just go to our YouTube and join us at TVC Entertainment. We'll still be streaming on TVC Entertainment till the end of the show. All right, so you were going to say the story about...
Okay, so there was a story, I don't know if you remember, there was a story of a girl, there were two close friends, and that one, she was into makeup. So the other friend, her brother, is into Yahoo. I don't know if you've heard that story. He's into Yahoo, and he was looking for someone to use you know, for his sacrifice.
Yahoo Plus.
So that the girl had to call her best friend. She called her best friend and told her, there's makeup. I know that one carried her bag. I know, but the good thing was that the girl told her mom that this is where I am going to. I'm going to meet my friend, and these were
in the east somewhere.
Yes, you heard that story. Yeah. She went there. Immediately she got there, the brother, of course, he killed her. You know, took out vital parts of her body, and then they buried her at the back. Meanwhile, the mother sat and she was waiting. The mother knows the best friend very well, and the daughter told the mother that she's going to see her, you know. So the mother was waiting, called. The girl wasn't picking her calls.
That's evil. Yes. That's not even, that's evil. That's evil friendship. That's a crime.
Careful with friendship.
You know who you're...
We should be very careful.
We should use
friendship.
I know.
Trust your intuition.
Yes. Exactly. As soon as you start seeing that, you know, that kind of...
You know, I want us to make room for the fact that usually people that can do the worst to you are those that you trust the most.
Exactly.
Because you have built years of friendship. You know, so I know we say this, be very careful, but we need to also be honest that there are some times that you cannot be too careful. You will not see it, because this is when fathers do things to their children, when mothers betray their children or their spouses, you know, when friends betray each other this way, the only reason they can get away with it is because you already give them trust long before. Yes. You know, so this is not even a matter of being careful, is that may we not end up with wicked people. May we not marry wicked people. May wicked people not be our friends. Amen. May they not know us. May they not see us. May they not see our children. Because that is, in that case, you cannot be careful enough.
Back to the lighter side of the conversation, though. What about where you have people that call you and say, you have not spoken to me in 3 days now. You don't know how to call somebody. I sent you a message, you did not reply. Yeah. Guess what? Still children. I saw it in my son, and I'm like, if you don't let this person, they went to their cousin's place, and so they were offline for 3 days. He dropped the message on Discord. He didn't reply until Monday, and he said, you ghosted me. I'm not going to reply you throughout this week.
Why this?
As in, you ghosted me. I'm not going to. Just for 3 days. But it happens in adult friendship too.
This is where it starts.
Yes.
So what you're saying, I'm seeing, as I said, my children's friends are around, so I'm seeing them struggling with friendships. Oh, my daughter is
a friend lover.
She has a wahala. I beg. Even me as the friend, I'm looking at her friend, I'm saying,
you're trying.
The reason you are friends because you're a patient person. Jesus, because if you, my daughter, you were my friend, I don't know, I'm not so sure we will continue this friendship. So I'm sitting with my daughter and I'm telling her about what to expect, the expectations, how to be patient. And then when you have a friend, that person is not your clone. That person is a whole different human being. So if you like something and she doesn't like it back, it's okay. Please.
Are you sure? So we have to wear the same color. You have to...
Yeah, so the excitement of we like pink, we like this, but then now they are finding things further that they don't share in common, and she's not understanding.
So I know that I have some friends that we don't have to talk every day, but when we talk, it's like we've spoken.
Just catch up immediately.
We just catch up. And then there's something I live by. You know who you call friend, but you don't know who calls you friend.
Oh, yes.
Then there's another thing they say. People are selfish. They do things to please themselves. And you might be hurt as a result of their action, but not because they intentionally set out to hurt you, just because they want to be themselves. That's why I feel that friendship should be a two-way thing. If you find somebody that is always selfish, I had one. I would listen, I would give you the shoulders to cry on, the listening ear. But when I'm not the person that even speaks, but sometimes I don't make you feel like, okay, you're the only one sharing. So I want to share. And then by the time I say, you just say, you don't even have problem now. Look at my own. That every time I want to say mine, she...
It becomes all about her.
It becomes all about her, and then we go back to her. So when I noticed, I just said I wasn't going to share. And you know the funny thing, when you don't share, she wants to know why you're not sharing. You know
sometimes
you find a way. Maybe you have to find a way of telling her.
No, we are done.
So that's the final advice that Yemi Alade gave. You might need to disconnect yourself.
But have you
tried to tell her?
Of course, of course I did.
Okay.
There was a time I said, you have a 1 million naira problem, I have a 10 naira problem. Doesn't make yours more genuine than mine.
Listen to my 10 naira problem. Don't trivialize it. The ones that you say, I'm having a headache, you say, your headache is not as bad as my own. Just listen to my headache. You know, my body is paining me. You don't know what I did today. You did not do anything. Just being able to give ourselves that feel, being caring for one another is extremely important. Do you think with friendship, you should ask, where are we? You know, they say when you're in a relationship, when you're dating somebody, you should ask the person, are we friends? Are we good? Are we committed to one another? Do you think it's something that should be done between friends?
Yes, you should ask. Yes, you should ask. You will even know.
I don't have to ask you.
You don't even have. Yeah, exactly.
Are you sure?
Yes, of course. But if I interact with you,
okay to,
if I interact with you 2 months, 3 months, I know who you are. I know the kind of person
because you'll be shocked.
So I already placed myself.
I've had to ask recently, and what I've learned is friendship singles is different from friendship married children, life, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes the coldness may not be towards you, that some things are happening. So I'm like, are we good? I know this isn't so good, but are we good? I'm like, yes, but I can't handle it right now. And